Hi, everyone. So, remember how I was on day 9 of my clean living journey? Yeah, well, life said, LOL, not today. I got busy, things got crazy, and suddenly I was like, wait, what did I even eat that day? Trying to catch up now feels like detective work. I might need to call in the FBI for my food diary. I was supposed to go to Atlantic City with my girlfriends, but then they canceled and I was this close to not going. But instead, I ended up doing 7 lives and having the best time ever with my subscribers. Like, who needs a casino when you've got your online family hyping you up? Honestly, you guys aren't just my subscribers, you're my family. We've grown together, laughed together, and you all even watched me almost talk myself out of salads a few times. No tears today, though. I'm just jumping back into my clean living like, all right, lettuce, we meet again. All right, let's talk about day 10. But before we get there, I was dedicated to this clean living thing. I'm talking no white sugar, no bread, no butter, no carbs. I was basically auditioning to be the poster child for Kale. But then came the trip. The anticipation of going to Atlantic City had me doubting everything: my willpower, my snack drawer, my entire existence. The anxiety was real. So, yeah, let's just rewind and talk about the breakfast that started it all. So, here's the backstory. Steve, bless him, loved Reese's Puffs. Like, that was his thing. And when he was alive, I'd always make sure he had a little cereal buffet going on. We're talking options, people. I ran a 5-star breakfast operation. But since he passed, those cereals have just been sitting there for over 7 months. Every time I'd open the pantry, they'd just stare at me like, "You sure you don't miss us?" And listen, living on a $100 budget for 14 days till my next paycheck, I wasn't about to throw them out. Donate them? I couldn't even donate my willpower at that point. So, day 10, I wake up, I open the pantry, and somehow, next thing I know, my hand is on the cereal box. Like, I swear it moved on its own. Cut to the chase. I had Reese's Puffs for breakfast. Yes, you heard that right. Reese's Puffs. I know. But hear me out. I used almond milk. Original almond milk. That counts for something, right? Honestly, at this point, I feel like the universe is like, she's trying, okay? Give her a break. Confession time. I didn't go to work that Monday or Tuesday. Why? Because my vertigo decided to throw a party in my head, and my throat was auditioning for a scratchy rock band. I wasn't in the mood to eat much, so I basically survived on 2 meals a day, partly because I woke up at 11 a.m. Fashionably late, thank you very much. But when I did eat, oh honey, I went all in. For dinner, I made an empanada that could make a veggie gardener weep with pride. Yellow tomatoes, green peppers, garlic, onions, parsley, and plant-based chopped meat. I mean, if veggies could talk, they'd have applauded. Day 10 wasn't exactly clean living, more like cleanish. But hey, it was real, it was delicious, and it was powered by mystery sauce. Spoiler, it turned out to be cilantro lime. It had a kick, some sass, and possibly opinions about my life choices. So I accidentally invented a new dish. I started out making empanadas, but somehow ended up wrapping everything in a wonton like I was auditioning for a cooking show called What Happens If. I threw in the veggies, plant based chopped meat, and because I clearly can't follow rules, a handful of Fresh Express sunflower crisp salad kit. Yes, I just grabbed cabbage, kale, lettuce, and carrots like I was making a mystery salad inside a dumpling. Baked the whole thing at 350 degree for about 10-15 minutes. And honestly, it came out way too good for something that started as kitchen chaos. 1010 would confuse international cuisines again. I thought I was done after making my weirdly amazing empanada wonton mashup. But then I looked at all that leftover filling and said, wait, one more can't hurt. Next thing you know, I'm over here making a baby version. It looked like a tiny, adorable sequel to my masterpiece. And honestly, it looked so good I knew immediately one wasn't going to be enough. I tossed in a handful of that Fresh Express sunflower crisp salad kit, the one with the sweet onion vinaigrette that makes you question why you ever used ranch. Added some yellow tomatoes from the Korean market, and because I like to live dangerously, topped it off with Romano cheese. Then, in the name of eating clean, I made myself some coffee with almond milk and honey instead of sugar. Did I enjoy it? Absolutely not. But hey, sacrifices must be made for the aesthetic. On the side, you could spot a little fruit cocktail on my dish, just hanging out like the sweet third wheel of this meal. Oh, and I even made a red yam, but I was so full of my own success and food that I decided to save it for another day. Moral of the story: my kitchen's a little chaotic, my coffee's questionable, but my taste buds are living their best life. Day 11: slept late, eating clean, and turning leftovers into legends. So I grabbed the leftover empanada filling, cracked in some eggs, and finally tackled that red yam I'd been saving. I was fully expecting it to be red inside, because, red yam, but plot twist, it wasn't. Still, it was a little starchy, a little sweet, and surprisingly tasty. Then I went full creative mode and stuffed that mixture into mini wonton wrappers, tiny bundles of breakfast joy. I gave them a little spa treatment with cooking spray for that golden glow, and baked them at 350 degrees for about 10 minutes. And let me tell you, they came out perfectly crispy. Like I could quit my job and start a food empire crispy. Just remember, every oven's a little different, so keep an eye on those bad boys. Let's just say fewer meals, more joy. I skipped lunch and went straight to dinner, but honestly, who wants to bother cooking when you don't feel well? Nah, we're done here. But clearly, my taste buds weren't ready to clock out. Enter Reese's Puff cereal. I grabbed a bowl, dumped in a heap of those chocolatey, peanut buttery puffs. No measurements, no guilt, just pure, unadulterated joy. Poured in almond milk, took a bite, and wow, it was so good. Like, why am I not eating this for every meal? Good, and just like that, I called it a day. Full, happy, and officially living my best life. Until next time, I'll keep chasing that clean living life. Even if my brain keeps suggesting dessert for dinner. Balance, baby. A little kale, a little chaos, and a whole lot of honesty.